Okay, thank you. I'm Max Porterfield, President and CEO of Callinex Mines. We're a base and precious metals explorer here in Canada. We noticed most notably we have one of the highest grade copper discoveries in the world, just outside of Flin Flon, Manitoba, at our Pine Bay project that we'll be discussing today. So with that being said, our flagship operations in Flin Flon, Manitoba, the 777 mine, which is a flagship mine that's operated by Hud Bay, is due to shut down this month. That is the only mine feeding that processing facility in the town of Flin Flon that has a capacity of 5,000 tons per day. With that being said, we've been operating the Pine Bay property due off to the east, where we've made the Rainbow discovery. One of the key things to note about Pine Bay in general a discovery is it's within the largest felsic volcanic rock package that you can see mapped in yellow due off to the east at Pine Bay. And the reason why this is important is 90% of all the ore ever mined in Flin Flon's history has been hosted in the felsics. So that's the host rock for the ore, and that's why we've spent so much time looking there. With that being said, in Flin Flon, you can see that small sliver of felsics that's hosted well over 100 million tons, and that's really what we've been looking for, the missing giant, so to speak, in this very large felsic volcanic rock package. So again, Pine Bay is located a 30-minute drive from Flin Flon, Manitoba by existing road access. The Rainbow discovery, which I'll show you here momentarily, is again located within a mineral lease, within 200 meters of a hydroelectric power line. So again, cheap, low-cost power, and obviously water is not an issue because the mines in Flin Flon are synonymous with lakes, and this being no different here at Lake Athapap. So the way we made the discovery of Rainbow is non-conventional in Manitoba for these VMS deposits, in that we used IP, chargeability isoshells, with the mindset that that's going to be an indirect vectoring approach, and then we're going to use traditional borehole EM, which looks for conductive sources, to directly vector towards that high-grade mineralization. And that's what we did successfully in 2020. PBM 111 ultimately intersected the Rainbow deposit at 900 meters vertical depth with two zones, the orange and yellow zone. Since then, we've added a third zone, the red zone, as we've come to surface, and we have well over 60 holes into the Rainbow deposit project area to date. The mineralization's now come within 100 meters of surface, making it one of the most shallow modern discoveries in the Flin Flon camp's history. The deepest drillings, where we're hitting some of the highest grades, some really beautiful intercepts, north of 15% copper, 12% copper. We hit 33 meters of true width, 6% copper. I'll show you a photo of it in a moment. But again, these big discoveries continue at depth, and that's what we're getting indications from, the borehole EM data and the deepest holes that have been drilled into Rainbow, as well as the geochemical data supportive of that. So we're quite excited of that. Again, we're in the midst of a 20,000 meter drilling campaign that we just announced a month ago, and 10,000 meters of that's going to be earmarked to continue to delineate Rainbow within the first 900 meters of surface, leading up to a goal of publishing a maiden resource on Rainbow and an adjacent Pine Bay deposit later this year in Q3. So that drilling is ongoing. So we're going to be doing infill drilling right here on the orange zone and the yellow zone. You can see a depth there, and with leading up to that maiden resource on Rainbow and Pine Bay. So this is an example of the very high-grade nature of the mineralization. Again, we're averaging roughly 4% copper equivalent across the drilling. As you come close to surface, you're going to get more zinc-rich and gold-rich, which is more distal. But again, the vector is at depth because that's where we're hitting the beautiful high-grade copper, like you see in PBM 138. Additionally to the Rainbow and what we're looking to achieve there, this year we have 5 different target areas that we're going to be drill testing as in tandem to the exploration program at Rainbow itself. We're looking to add a new discovery. With that being said, I can show you real quickly how that's going to come together in terms of the vectoring mechanism or methodology. But essentially, Rainbow is the most western discovery that's been discovered at Pine Bay. There's 6 other stacked deposits due off to the east, and sequentially as you go from the Donjon mine, which is located furthest to the east, here at the Pine Bay deposit, 60,000 tons historic high grade, very high grade, 6% copper. As you move to the west with the North Star mine, the Baker Patton deposit, the Cabin zone, then the Pine Bay deposit, and then Rainbow, they get exponentially larger. The historic resource on Pine Bay that we'll be updating later this year when we publish the maiden resource on on Rainbow is 1 million tons historic, and then Rainbow is looking to be much, much larger than that. So we're very, very excited about that. We're going to be also focusing more exploration on targets that are at the base of the growth fault that's mapped there. So we need to continue vectoring to the west. As you can see, the stacking of these deposits as we go westerly. And that's one of the key things that we learned over the past several years at Pine Bay again, we need to go proximal to the base of the growth fault. If you look at the town of Flin Flon, you have the original Flin Flon deposit that's 60 million tons that sits within 400 meters of the base of the growth fault that you can see is identified by Mill Rock Hill in red there. And then 1.5 kilometers to the north, to 2 kilometers to the north of Mill Rock Hill in Flin Flon is where you have the Callinex 777 deposits. Now, if you look at Pine Bay, our Mill Rock Hill is the Pine Root Mill Rock that we have highlighted in red on the map here. And there's been no exploration that's been done in proximity to that. There's just a couple holes that were drilled in the late 1960s, 1968 in fact, but there's been no vectoring in proximity to the base of the growth fault. Everyone had been focused more easterly on the property due to a very, we'll call it a sexy alteration zone that had been mapped at surface. So that was in many ways kind of the blinders on a horse when they were racing, because everyone was so attracted to that big alteration system. So again, in short order, it's going to be a very, very exciting year for the company with 20,000 meters leading into a maiden resource on the Rainbow deposit, as well as testing 6 different target areas that we've identified to lead up to a new discovery to getting to grow scale at Pine Bay with our ambitions to have the next mining operation for that community. Again, that's in real jeopardy with 100 years of continuous production across 32 mines and the 777 mine shutting down now imminently. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. If you have any questions, we can visit us at booth 234 anytime for the remainder of the conference.